Alrighty, so today we are going to be talking about the Supreme Magnificent Battle Next Generation Saiyans Edition, and potentially you guys may be struggling with this stage. So today what I wanted to do is give you a sort of a quick guide on how to take out this stage, the easiest approach to doing so, and a pretty consistent strategy that should win a majority of the time. Now, keep in mind, when we are dealing with numbers like this, there are just going to be scenarios where you get caught by something and it is what it is, right? I think really the biggest sort of struggle with this event is the fact that it has limited attempts. But in this video, I aim to make this event as easy as possible for you, give you the team build that you could potentially use, and give you some alternatives as well. You guys know how it goes at this point. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop over to the game and talk about the strategy that we're going to be using in order to get this done today. Okay, so we are over here on JP Dokkan, but everything will play the same. This is the Supreme Magnificent Battle. You guys know that. Stage 3 against Gohan. Now, here is the team that I want to show you guys today. This is one that has worked pretty consistently for me, and it is going to include a roster that looks like this. It's the Omega Shenron team, and this is what it looks like right now. We have Physical Omega as the leader for his domain. This is our damage dealer for the most part. The other characters can do damage, but this is our main damage dealer. The second character is going to be the LR Shadow Dragons, where you can obtain them from Battlefield. If you need a link unit for Omega Shenron, this is going to work out very well for you. Our next character is going to be Tech-Sin Shenron. He works very well as well, has very high damage reduction, especially with Omegas around. And then we also have Nova Shenron, the boy Nova Shenron. I love this Nova Shenron character in here because of the fact that he can nullify a Blast Super if there's a turn where we don't have a Ghost Usher. Next up on the thing here, we've got Tech Android 17 and 18. This is going to be the character that I'm assuming most of you guys do not have, but if you do, you're in luck. So we're going to look at some alternatives here in a moment, but this is a character that's going to give you an initial Ghost Usher, and it's just going to help us overall in terms of what we are looking for. And then last but not least, the Chad himself in Fat Boo. He is here to give us a revival and then a free turn with a Ghost Usher in order to take this down. So this is, in my opinion, one of the easiest setups that you can do, just because of the fact that you really only need like 2 turns of Omega Shenron doing his thing and you are going to be good to go. Now, when it comes to items, there's just ways that you can work around it. What we could potentially do is just bring a Ghost Usher of our own, and this should work out pretty well for us. Or you could potentially just bring Double Whis for a turn where you don't have the Ghost Usher. So we're going to try this with the Ghost Usher, and if we get caught, maybe we have bad rotations, this could potentially be a bit of an issue for us. But first things first, we need to also re-up on our support memory reels, because we need the blue ones in order to use the support memory that we need here today in order to get this done. So the most common support memory that you guys are probably seeing on other people's clears is the one with whatever the blue the dragon with the cigar, right? That's the one that I'm talking about. This is going to be the support memory that we're using here today. So we go over here, and this is where we have it, right? This is going to give us some extra buffs, and it's going to just be helpful for us. So here we go. I think that's a Shadow Dragon Saga buff. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the event. This is the strategy that we are going to be using. This is what I used for the no item run. So the fact that we have items and a support memory should make this a lot easier. Now, again, the big thing here that could catch us is just bad rotations. So if we get bad rotations, it is what it is. We'll just have to work around it. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, what do we have here? No Omega Shenron domain from the start. So obviously that is not ideal. However, there is a way that we can work around this. Now, what we're going to do, this actually works out pretty nicely for us. So what we're going to do here, because we don't have the domain, is we are going to float off this the Shadow Dragon Legion right here. But we are going to lose big bad bosses, so let's do this, right? We're going to put Nova Shenron in slot 1, and then we are going to pop this Ghost Usher, right? So now we are just going to take away the attacks on this turn. Nova Shenron is going to do decent damage, not as good as what we would see if he were to have like the physical Omega around, but it is what it is. So we are going to go on this turn here, and then we are going to be good to go. You guys are going to see this is going to work out just fine, despite our rotations not exactly being ideal. So this turn should do decent damage to Gohan, but we're not like too concerned. What I'm concerned about mainly is the fact that the tech androids are not going to be a very good linking character for physical Omega Shenron. So this is going to be a little bit of an issue, but overall, this still should be pretty simple for us. So this was like the worst possible opening rotation we could have gotten. But with that being said, we could still work around this. So keep that in mind. That's the beauty of this whole thing. So you guys can see, even without the Omega Shenron domain, we are still putting up very respectable attack numbers, very respectable defensive numbers. This is not even defensive numbers, that doesn't matter, but we're doing decent damage to him despite not having the best opening setup here. So now what we're going to do, potentially, what we'll do is we're going to keep the Omegas like this. I know that sounds weird, but we don't even have the Ghost Usher because of the HP. So this is where things get a little bit tricky, right? This is where potentially we could be in a little bit of trouble. So what we're aiming to do here, this is again just bad luck. This is essentially what this is we're going to keep both of the Omegas on rotation, and we're going to do something like this. And what we are hoping for is for physical Omega to nullify or counter the super. So if he gets caught by the super, we lose. That's just an example of how a run can go poorly, right? But if he does counter it or just dodges it, so he countered it right there, and that's exactly what we're looking for. The androids have been rendered useless on this run because of the enemy's HP, right? That happens. But that's just unfortunate, but now with this super here, we are going to be good to go. Now on this next turn, this is where things get interesting, because what we're going to be doing is intentionally throwing, right? So now this is where Int Fat Boo is going to come in and show his value. So what we want to do is line it up so he is taking the super. So we're going to set something up like this, and then what we're hoping for is Int Fat Boo to take that super. We're going to get 6 orbs here with this Tech Shenron. We're going to do this right here with Nova Shenron, and then with Fat Boo, hopefully Fat Boo is the one taking the super. He's actually scripted to do something, so I think what I need to do is pull that up. I think maybe we may have goofed here, but yeah, because Nova can't take those normals. Okay, let me just quickly reset the app, and then we'll fix this real quick. Okay, so turns out what I've opted to do here is just use the Usher again. So Boo and the androids did not even fulfill their purpose on this run, but we are still able to get it done here because I'm not worried about next turn, right? So this is again where things get a little bit interesting, but this Boo or Gohan hits nowhere near as hard in the second phase. So once you get to the second phase and you can sort of work around it, you are going to be good to go. So I use the Ghost Usher on this turn, on the first turn, and then you are good to go. So this is how you sort of want the run to go, and it's just how it's going to work. So overall, not really too bad, especially if you're using items, but again, it can be a bit intimidating from the numbers alone, but this is definitely going to be one of the best ways to clear this event. So it is a bit tricky, but I promise if you just take your time, you will be able to get it. You guys can see even like we're barely even to the Omega, like Nova Shenron basically just soloed it, right? Like that is sort of where Gohan's HP is. He is made of paper mache, right? He is just like, he has no defense. But one thing to keep in mind here is the fact that Gohan does have attack buildup. So you do want to keep that in mind. But I believe, especially a Rainbow Omega Shenron should be able to take care of business with that super attack, and we have buffed them a decent bit, so that is where things could get a little bit tricky. So even if we lose in this run, this is potentially where we so you guys can see we got lucky with the attack placement here, so we win, right? That is basically what you need to do to take this out. So again, I know this event seems intimidating on paper and it may seem impossible when you're getting started, but if you sort of just have this Omega Shenron team, I promise you can figure it out, and you guys are going to enjoy a nice satisfying max damage look here, 999 across the board, and he is all taken care of. So when you get a successful run for this event, you guys can see I wasn't able to use the androids or Fat Boo's utility, and just with the ushers alone, I was able to take that down. But if you're looking for the no item run, potentially you could do it that other way where you want to like put this character in slot 1. We also got really unlucky rotations, so that is sort of why the run didn't look the way that potentially I would have anticipated it to go. But you guys can see, even when things go wrong, this team is more than capable of taking care of business. So Once you get out of that first turn, if you use an Usher on the androids, if you use the Usher with Boo, there's just ways to go around this because in theory, we have 4 separate turns of just taking away the enemy's attack. You know how you're not going to take any damage is by using things that take away the enemy's ability to do anything to you, right? You want to know how to take no damage, the enemy doesn't attack you, right? That is essentially what we were trying to do in this run. So that is sort of how you are going to do this. Now, if you are somebody that says, oh, I don't have the Omega Shenron team, this video is pointless to me, let me go ahead and take a look at the trending tab and we could see. Some people, one of the top teams that people are running is the GT Hero setup here. I don't know, is that really what, like, are all the characters Super Attack 1 on this tab? Yeah, that's weird. But that is one of the trending teams that people are doing. But if we look at the friends list, everybody is basically running GT bosses. This guy did it with an Usher and a Champa character. So you guys can see this is just a fight that highlights strengths of different characters. And I think that that's really cool. So if you're looking for alternatives for this specific team, I think this is where AGL Rose can go. I think STR Omega Shenron can go in this spot, and you guys should be good to go. So when it comes to Superclass, again, we can look at, like, what I like to do is look at trending teams and then look in here. And you guys can see these guys have really good gaming chairs. And your boy is actually on the side because he just cleared it. Yes, sir. That's me, right? But another setup I would recommend is something like this, but I would probably take him off the team. But with like a double Whis, this should be a pretty easy setup for you. And I think if you were running 80% damage reduction, a Superclass team would be able to just like shred through this. Maybe you would just use one and then chain it, but I think that this team could work for sure as well. So just keep that in mind that there are other options like fused fighters and stuff like that, whatever it may be. But if you want the easiest way to clear the event, in my opinion, it is definitely this. You can't take damage when the enemy can't hit you. So that is what I would recommend that you do. Let me know down below if you guys are struggling with this. If you need help with the team building, I would definitely recommend joining the community Discord. This is always very helpful for people when they don't know how to, not know how to play the game, but when they're confused on the team build, maybe the stage is intimidating. So just keep that in mind. That is definitely how I would do it. But let me know down below the strategy you used. If you're struggling, if you have any questions, I definitely can help you out. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, right? It's always fun when we get event guides. I usually don't get to do these all too often, but I think right now this is definitely calling for it just because of the current state of the game with how hard these events are and how scary they could be for some people. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. Leave a like for more guides in the future and subscribe if you are new so that way you don't miss out on any of my Dokkan content. We post every single day around here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.